Hello, beautiful people. Oh, I didn't realize I was live. All right, I'm just waiting for some of you to join me. Hello, beautiful people. Hang on, I need to turn the sound off there. All right. I haven't done this for such a long time. Hey, Biscuit Barrel. Hi, Kerry. Hi, Najua. Hi. Can you hear me okay? It's been such a long time since I've gone live. I can't even remember how to do this. Hi, Gareth. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Hi. Oh, you're all coming on. Lovely. Yes, you can hear me. Excellent. Good, good. Too loud, too quiet? Do you want me to turn it up, turn it down? Hey. Sound is good. All right. Thank you for letting me know. All righty. So lovely to be with you. It's over a year since I've done a live. So it's great. And it's nice to connect with all of you. It was since I went live last time, there was, we've grown. Our channel here, and it's ours, it's not mine, it's ours. We've grown from, I think we had about 20,000 this time last year, and we're over 70,000 now. So how are we all doing in our respective lockdowns all over the world? It's Friday night here in the UK, just gone 8:10. In the evening, and I just thought, I'm sure you guys need a little bit of something to cheer you up, hey, a little bit of lightness and brightness. All right. Hi, Christine. Lovely of you to join us. Thank you. So, hi, guys. I can't read you all out. You're all coming on so much. I just wanted to. I don't know what I'm doing. Tonight. I don't think I'm going to be doing personal readings. I think I just wanted to come on, connect with you, say hi. If you've got questions, fire away. If I get the answers through from my angelic team, then I can let you have them. You may or may not see Oscar. I think he's asleep somewhere. I don't know where. So first of all, are we all safe? Are we all well? And are we all staying sane? Okay, that's the most important thing. So we've got Posh82 in Reading. We've got Tracy in LA. We've got Erin in the UK too. We've got Denver, Colorado, Nottingham. You're all over the place, which is wonderful. I am very well. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hi to Canada, Katharina. Yeah, I'm going to just play it by ear. All right. So they'll tell me what I need to do. I've got my team around me. Safe in Denmark, Marianne. Brilliant. Okay. Hi to Brazil, Danny. Hi. Hi, Kerry in Northern Ireland. What do I want to tell you? Hi, Florida. You're not sane in the USA. Okay. Probably best to not be in these crazy times. Let's be as crazy as the crazy times, and then they won't feel quite so unaligned. All right. Everything is about what we can align with. The more we align with it, the more we're in harmony with it, and the more comfortable it is. And we want to be comfortable, yeah? So when we're clashing against something, fighting against something, everything feels, oh my God, it's the end of the world. And, it kind of is the end of the world as we know it at the moment, but it's a pause. So we're just putting a pause, okay? And what we want to do is try and align with the situation at the moment. Okay. Hi to Maria in Greece. Safe in New York, Debs. Good, good. Hi, Barbara in Scotland. Hi, Francis in Georgia. I'm happy to take any questions. If I don't know the answer, I will tell you. If the angels don't want you to know the answer, they will tell you. All right. Some things are good for us to know and some are not. In terms of am I staying safe? Some of you will have seen a post that I put on my community page saying I'm going into self-isolation because I used to, a long time ago, 30 years ago, I was very, very ill. I had DVT and 2 pulmonary embolisms, and they do leave scar tissue on your lungs. So I initially, like many of you, went a little bit into the fear over the weekend, last weekend, when it all went a little bit crazy. Yeah, I decided I'm staying in. I don't want to catch this because this is a lung disease. However, I've had a little chat with my angels and they've told me I'm not going to catch it. There's nothing for me to worry about. But they also don't want me to catch it. So they want me to stay in and stay safe. Okay, so okay, so one of your questions said, how long is it going to last? All right, that's Sharon Johnson. How long is it going to last? Okay. Okay, so the initial big surge that we're seeing now here in the UK, we're about 3 weeks behind you in Greece and Italy, about 2 weeks behind Spain and France. My feeling is, yeah, my angels are nodding, 3 to 4 months of this kind of shutdown, lockdown, crazy time. I'm feeling by the time we get to July, August, it's starting to ease. But I think if we can align with the next 3 or 4 months, we're predominantly in and just being able to go for a walk by ourselves quietly, or where those of you are allowed out to even go for a walk. 3 or 4 months. And then I feel it's going to be a tailing down for the rest of the year. But it's going to have dribs and drabs for a little bit of time here. Okay, that's my information that I have. Okay, Lisa's having trouble with meditation lately, can't stop the madness in your mind. All right, that's absolutely understandable. For us to meditate effectively, we need to be in a high vibration, and fear is a very low and heavy vibration, so it stops us from meditating. So your best, hang on, when are things going to be in Greece? Maria, that question that I answered was for the world. Okay, so everybody. All right, so 3 or 4 months of it intense, and then it tailing off towards the next 6 months of the year. All right. Barbara, it's safe for you to go out if you're not around anybody who's infected. All right, the virus is not in the air, it's in people. So if you stay away from people, you won't catch it. It is on things, though. It stays on things like benches and doors and door handles and things. They 2 or 3 days. But if you're going for a walk and you're not touching anything and you're not being within 2 meters of anybody, then it's absolutely fine to go for a walk. Okay. So I was answering the question there about meditation and fear. If you're in a very fearful space, don't try and meditate because it won't work. And then you'll just get cross with yourself and add anger to the fear, which isn't going to help you. Instead, sit with the fear in a very loving and gentle way. All right. As we put the love into the fear, it dissolves and transmutes the fear. So if I'm feeling afraid, I ask myself, what part of me is feeling afraid? Maybe it's my body physically that's feeling afraid. Maybe it's my inner child. Mommy, I'm scared. Whatever part of me, I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold and say, I'm here and I love you. I can't promise you it's going to be okay. I can't guarantee anything at the moment, but I'm here and I love you. You take that fear and you nurture it. As you do, the fear begins to dissolve. You can also ask your angels to come around you. You can also use Saint Germain and the violet flame. Invoke that. I am calling upon Saint Germain with the violet flame to transmute all negativity from in and around me. And you visualize that violet flame and allow the fear to dissipate. What you're trying to do, we're in fearful times, acknowledge it, don't deny it, don't pretend it isn't there, because that doesn't work either, but just own it, bring it in and love it into wellness. As you feel yourself beginning to calm, and you will, then you can go into a meditative space. All right. They want to say a little bit more on that. And bringing it into the now, realize as you hold the fear and you ask yourself, what am I frightened of? And you'll come up with a long list, because there's a lot to be frightened of. But then you realize everything you're frightened of isn't right now. None of it is right now. Right now, you're in your home, you're safe, you're secure, you've got a roof, you've got food, you've got enough, you're okay. You're frightened about tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. So we can't do anything about tomorrow. We'll deal with tomorrow when we get there. So the more you can bring your now presence, then the more you can reduce that fear. Okay, let's have a look at some more questions. Is this the new earth, Julie? Donna is asking. It's the beginnings of, yes. All right. For us to, we've all been saying for a long time, you know, we need to do something. We need to do something. We can't carry on like this. And everybody knows that and everybody agrees, but nobody's willing to change anything about their daily life to actually achieve it. So this is coming along and forcing us to do it. This is going to be about a 10-year process. This is the beginning of a change through this decade. By the time we get to 2030, we'll be in a different space. This is the beginnings of it. Thank you for your love, Loranda. That's lovely. And yeah, just to let you know, this is open for super chat. If any of you want to donate for my time, you don't have to. All right, but if you do, much appreciated. Let's have a look. What other questions have we got? Will the UK enter lockdown? Yes, my darling. It was announced at 5 o'clock tonight, about 3 hours ago, that instead of asking everything to shut, they're now telling everything to shut. So now it's an order, not a request. So we're moving more and more into lockdown. So today, the pubs, restaurants, clubs in the UK were ordered to shut. Monday, they were asked to shut. Today, they were ordered to shut. Schools also shut today. We're going into lockdown. What I did at the beginning of the week was I watched... we don't want to watch too much of it because it panics us, right? But to be informed helps us to not be afraid. If we know what's coming, it helps. So what I did was I watched some international news rather than my BBC UK news. I watched Euro news so I could see a little bit what is going on in other countries, because we're 3 weeks behind here in the UK, and it gives me a heads up of, okay, that's what's coming here. So when it comes, I can handle it better. Now, why do I say that? One of the things that puts us in a spin is shock. All right. Shock is a particular emotion. All right. Or emotions are energy. Emotion is energy in motion. Shock is a particularly powerful one that basically disconnects us from our brain. All right. Our frontal cortex, our frontal lobe, that is our center of reason and being able to think, goes to pot. We go into our reptilian survival brain when we're in shock. And shock lasts 2 or 3 days. And then we kind of come back into being able to think again. So to avoid shock is to have that information. So I looked at a lot of cases, a lot of reports, news reports about China. And I'm like, okay, that's the worst case scenario. So I'm prepared for the worst case scenario. If it happens here, I know what's going to happen if it gets that bad. I look at Italy, Greece and Spain in lockdown before we were in lockdown and go, okay, that's going to happen here. I'm ready. It just prepares and it stops the shock. Okay, let me come to some more questions. Biscuit Barrel, is your guide close by? I now more than ever need to know them. Absolutely. All right. I'm assuming most of you have seen my video that I did on the channeled video on COVID-19. One of the messages there that came through very strongly was that we are not alone through this time. We're hugely supported at this time by our angels, our guides, our loved ones in spirit, our ancestors. They are all around us at the moment and will stay around us through this transition and time. They know that it's frightening for us and they are around us with so much love and support and help. Okay. Anna is saying, once they lift the ban, can we go back to what we were doing before, or will we have to change course totally? There is going to be significant change out of this. My angels haven't given me a huge amount of information, but they are saying that this is the beginnings of the changes that needed to happen. Not just for the environment. Those of you who saw my video, I was talking there about the societal breakdowns, the way we need to reconnect with each other, and the environmental breakdown with climate change also. But there's also the economic breakdown where we've been watching it get worse for decades, you know, and it's now out of control. The money and the power being with 1% of the, well, less than 1%, I think 0.1% of the world. And it is a rebalancing, a restructuring of the economic system. And to do that, the economic system needs to be broken down, like the tower in the tarot, be broken down in order to be restructured and rebuilt into something that's much more fair and equal and reasonable. And what we're seeing, oh bless you, thank you so much, Donna, for your generous donation. What we are seeing here is the majority of governments, and it'll continue across the countries bit by bit, is saying, right, we're going to pay your wages, and right, you haven't got to pay your mortgage. And next, you know, they've frozen interest rates and dropped them to an all-time low. They are doing so many different things. Today in the UK, they announced the government is going to give the businesses enough money to cover the staff wages of 80% of their wages. Now, I know many of you will think I can't survive on 80%, but 80% is better than 0%, okay? So this is going to help you through. And actually 80% of your wages when you don't have to pay your mortgage, because you can have a mortgage holiday, will be sufficient. Now, I know some of you have already lost your jobs. They're saying 1 million jobs have been lost this week. Now, what we will see is that, yeah, 1 million jobs is a lot, but what we're seeing already is the supermarkets are taking on, I think, well, they say 100,000 people in the next 2 weeks, because they need to keep the supermarkets going, more delivery drivers, more stocking the shelves, more processing out. We're also going to see people who've lost their jobs starting up delivery vans and delivery firms, going home, selling their cars, buying a vans and declaring themselves a delivery driver. We're going to see people diversifying and finding very creative ways to get around and through. Okay. Now, when I'm saying that, I know we're talking, thank you very much, Anne, much appreciated. When we're talking about those things, that's what's happening in the UK. Things similarly are happening in other countries, but basically the government can't afford for, you know, the entire population to be out of work, because they would have to pay the welfare, and they may as well just pay your wages then, you know. So everything is going to find its level. All right, it will find its level. Let me have a look at some more of your. Hello, Nikki. All right, my darling. Hi. Letty, if we all focused on prayer, we would raise the vibration to make change. Absolutely. Okay. What we want to do with our prayers, excuse me, many people are focusing on sending healing to the sick. And that's lovely. Yep, great. Do that. But it's not just that. We don't just want to send healing to the sick. That's half the job. Actually, that's 10% of the job. The other 90% is sending love into the fear. All right, there's this fear sweeping across the whole globe, and the fear, if any of you, and I say if, I know you do, loads of you understand the law of attraction. What you focus on grows. What you think about, you bring about. So the more fear we put into, oh my God, it's the end of the world, this thing's going to kill us, we're all going to die, this is a terrible virus, the more fear that's in there is actually feeding the virus. All right, the fear is feeding the crisis. So actually our prayers and our love and our healing need to go more into neutralizing the fear than it does into healing the people who've got it. Now that sounds a bit harsh, obviously still give them healing too, but please be aware that those that are sick on a soul level have chosen to, have aligned with it. Their belief system is, I'm going to get it. I'm vulnerable, I'm old, I'm going to get it. And they're getting it. if you hold the truth, like I went into that spin a little bit about, oh, I've got terrible lungs, I might get it, I'll be really sick. And I'm like, what am I doing? Come on, Julie Poole, you know this stuff. So I allowed those thoughts to come up. I allowed them to move through me and move out. And then I flooded my whole system with love. I put a load of healing into myself. I'm also a Reiki master, and I've got my angels, of course. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. Everything's fine. I'm not going to get it. All right. So it's faith, it's love, it's support. And this is the bit that's the hardest. It's the having the trust, even though we don't have the answers. All right. So this is, pretend that you have the benefit of hindsight now rather than in 2 years' time or 5 years' time, because there will come a point where we will look back at this crisis and go, I was there. I was there. I lived through that. It was crazy. It was crazy, crazy times. But look at where we're at now, right? Now, we don't know that. We can't, even most of us psychics can't see. I do a lot of predictions for the future when I'm doing readings for people. And many of you have had readings with me, and you'll know that sometimes they'll say they're not telling me that, or I can't see that, or I can see this far, but I can't see any further. So if we can get into this trust that they upstairs know a bit more than us, and they can see where we're going, and they can see how this whole situation is the beginnings of cracking open a structure that is corrupt, is unequal, is selfish and closed and damaged, and it's wrecking the world, the earth, and us and our vibration. And what's happened over the last 50 years, 60, since the 60s, the last 60 years is that the dawn of the age of Aquarius, the vibration's been rising higher and higher and higher. It gets to a point that the collective vibration is so high that it smashes open the darkness. It smashes open the corruption, which starts to fall. So we've seen the beginnings of this really starting in the 80s, a bit more in the 90s, and it building. And over the last 10 years, you've seen more and more corrupt governments fall, corrupt famous people, powerful people, it all fall. Oh, bless you, Grace. Thank you very much. That's very generous. And Catherine, thank you so much. So this is another step in that. Yeah, we look back at the Jimmy Savile case, which smashed open child abuse, which we all know has been going on for many, many years. And nobody was ever believed, and nobody ever did anything. That whole case, because he was so famous, and you know, so many people were told about him and nobody did anything. That whole case smashed it all open and changed society's view to child abuse across the world. Yay. Okay. So then that's happened with Harvey Weinstein, or whatever his name is, over in Hollywood. That smashed that corruption over there. We know there's corruption in politics in probably every country. That's being smashed open. Everything is beginning to get lighter, but it looks like a bit chaotic. But if we trust the universe, and it's us collectively that have said something's got to be done, you know, and we've aligned with our hearts, our energy, putting our energy into the collective to say, I want change. We need change. The planet needs change. Society needs change. Communities need change. How many of you live in apartment blocks that don't know the names of the people that share the same front door? And how many of you live in the street who do not know your neighbour's name directly opposite or next door? Because this is the way society's been across multiple countries, getting worse and worse along that. And we've hit a wall saying, can't go on like this. You know, we need tribe, we need community, we need to connect. And what this is doing in a really ironic way, by making everybody self-isolate, we're actually bringing the community back together. And it's crazy because you go to work, you're surrounded, many of you, by hundreds of people in big offices, and you don't know your neighbours. And now you go home and you're not allowed to leave, and you suddenly know your neighbours. You're talking over the balcony, you're talking out the window, you're talking over the fence. You're getting to know people. There's community groups springing up all over Facebook to support people, do their shopping for them, do deliveries, look after, make phone calls. My dad and his wife have lived next door to their neighbours for about 15 years. They know their name. They were introduced. They knocked on the door when they first moved in, and if they see them parking the car, they say hello. That's the only contact they've had. And this week those neighbours came and knocked on my dad's door, because he's 82, and said, you know, if you need any shopping, we'll go and get it for you, whatever you need. And my dad was like, oh bless, isn't that lovely? How sweet, how kind. All right, so this is what it's all about. Is it comfortable? No. Is it necessary? Yes. Can we do it? Yes. Yeah, of course we can do it. Of course we can do it. All right, let's look at some more questions. If angels want to tell me about the major project I work on will sell soon, thank you greatly. I'm not going to go into individual sort of readings for people with this. It's more about answering questions where it just will help you to feel better. So this was, what did I call this? You know, support, really. Time of support. Thinning the veils delivers one. We are adjusting to the new normal. Absolutely correct. Designed by the divine. Okay. Hi, Krista. Hi. Political corruption is a definite. Yeah, Emily. Government in general, our society needs to go back to what my parents taught us when I was little. Neighbours are basically the same, and you help these people. Yeah. Hi, Alexa in Australia. Holding light, faith, love for Mother Gaia and Earth citizens, all will be well. Lovely. Your last day, Posh 82 on the job, 3rd of April. Since then, not many jobs here in the UK. Been thinking of volunteering. See, look, that's lovely. Okay, so those of you who are fit and healthy and are allowed out, if you're not on complete lockdown, then yeah, help, you know. Posh 82 is there saying about volunteering to deliver to the elderly, and that's lovely. For most of us in lockdown, we are allowed to leave the house to go for a walk, to walk the dog, to go and buy food, but other than that, we're not doing anything. So if you've lost your job and you can help others, then that is helping as well. Now, you know, when we look at the economic restructuring that's going on, one of the things that struck me very strongly tonight when our government in the UK said, we will pay every business 80% of your wages. We will just give you the money to pay your staff, 80% of what the full wage bill would have been. And our tax system, which is called HMRC, will know what the tax bill is for each company for the year, and they're just going to go and give them 80% of it and say, keep paying your staff. Now, it occurs to me, how can they afford to do that? So they're finding the money from somewhere. And if the government are going to actually help keep everything afloat now in this crisis, my question is, this is clearly to me something that they could be doing a lot more of normally. And that's going to be something coming out of it, saying that, yeah, okay, they're borrowing this, but they're finding a way to support society because they have to. They didn't have to before. And when we come out the other side of this, we're going to be saying, right, well, you don't have to just turn the tap off now because the crisis is over. You can find this in now. Let's try and find some of it in other times. Great creator, hi, in New England, USA. Hi, sweetie. Hi, Heidi. Yes, here. Heidi saying thank you to the many key workers, and let's do that. Lots of people are saying thank you so much to all the NHS staff, the hospital workers, the hospital staff, the doctors, nurses, the people who keep looking after the sick, the ambulance workers, all of those incredible, phenomenal, working round the clock, like, you know, my goodness me, what amazing, resilient, wonderful people. But let's not forget about other key workers that we don't think about. So we think about hospital staff, obviously, and the police and the fire brigades. But we also want to think, for me now, the key workers are the people filling the shelves up in supermarkets, the people sitting on those tills, putting beep, 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 beep with the food going through. They're key workers. We can't buy food without them. The lorry drivers delivering our food, the van drivers delivering our food deliveries, all of those are key workers. We want to start thinking of the word key workers in a much wider form. And again, this is part of the collective oneness. Let's include more people into that umbrella of essential services. It's a time like this we start to really realize what's essential and what's not. Yeah. Let's have a look at some more questions. We need to go back to balance and harmony. Absolutely. Yeah, you pick up on energy. All right, let's stay with that for a moment, because many of you, like me, are intuitives, empaths. We pick up energy. That's how I do my job. I feel the energy. And it's one of the reasons that I was struggling over the weekend with a little bit of fear myself. And I was kind of, right, I've got to go shopping. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. What else can I do? And I could feel it all going there. Right, hang on. Right, what's going on here? I'm picking up the collective panic. I don't need to panic because I know I'm going to be okay. And I know that I'm supported. And I know that I might have to change some things and it'll be inconvenient, but it's not the end of the world. And like I said in my video from that Facebook post, and I don't know who started it, but it's brilliant. Our grandparents were called to war. We're called to sit on the sofa and watch Netflix. I mean, come on, we've got this. When I saw that, I felt all of my panic just dissolve, because it brought a smile to my face and a respect for our grandparents who did that. And I'm like, come on, is it really that hard? So, okay, we're missing an appointment with the hairdresser, the nail bar, the gym. We are, our life is being turned upside down because we can't go to the restaurant that we go to every Friday, or we can't, this is right. Whoa, rewind. There are people losing their jobs. There are people dying. There are people really sick. There are key workers working 48-hour shifts. And I'm moaning about not getting my nails done. Let's rewind, okay? Let's bring it back to what's really important. And this is fabulous. It's a reset. We're given the opportunity to press pause, just like when you're watching a film and you need a cup of tea or you need the bathroom, press pause, right? And it just gives you time. And then you can come back, and eventually when the time is right, we'll press play again. But we'll find that when we do, things have changed because we've changed. We've changed as a society, and things have changed around us, but we will adapt because we choose to, because we have to. And there's no point fighting and crying. We have to say, okay, roll up the sleeves. We got this. Okay. Oh, thank you very much. I had to do my own nails. And I said to myself, oh my God, I'm like, hang on, I did my own nails for 56 years. Well, I didn't do them when I was 5, but since I was about 13. I only started going to a nail bar last September. And they're all right. I can do it. Yeah. Can't get my hair cut at the moment. So I've got these sticky out bits that are growing that are like wings, I say to my daughter, I've got my wings sticking out. Keep flattening them down, but all right, it's okay. It's okay. Right, let's look at the postmen and women. Absolutely. Another essential service. Okay. Well, how much of the post do we actually need? Is that not part of another environmental issue in terms of trees and paper? In the days of emails, do we actually need any post? I had to tell my stepmother off on Tuesday because she's, how old is she? 76. And she said, I have to go to the post office to post the birthday card to Australia. In our country, if you're posting an international letter, it has to go to the post office to be weighed. You can't just put it in a letterbox. And I said to her, no, you're not going to the post office. That's ridiculous. You're not going to stand in a queue to go and get a stamp to pay to do a birthday card, do an e-card, do an e-birthday card. Oh, yeah, but it's not the same. And I said, no, it's not the same. But whoever you're sending that birthday card to in Australia does not want family, will not want you to get sick to give them a card. Send a bloody e-card, right? So actually, how much post do we need? I got a bank statement today in pages, I mean, I need to, I've told them twice, send me an e-statement. I'm fine with that. Okay. So let's start questioning. This is what's going on with this pause. Do we need, yes, great for the postman. Thank you very much sending me this information. Do we need it? This is the age of technology. This is 2020. Can we actually start thinking about getting rid of post? What we need are parcels for deliveries. All right. One of the things that I made decisions on Monday once I'd come down from the panic and back into the, I'm like, right, how long am I going to be home for? About 3 months is what I feel. Okie dokie. What can I do with myself if I'm not working? I don't want to just go from work to telly and back to work and telly and bed and telly. Right. And I thought, when was the last time I did any baking? I've got so used to going to a restaurant for food or going to the supermarket and buying what I need. I haven't cooked in such a long time. So I thought I shall get some ingredients and I shall cook again. All right. Some of you can't get bread. It's not that hard to make bread. Not that I've ever made bread. I don't eat bread. I'm gluten intolerant. So, but you can make your own bread. So that's something, right? We can do some more cooking, learn to cook again. Some of the other things that we used to do when, in my generation, I'm 56, when we were kids, I used to bake with my granny, right? Baking things, okay? But also we'd be out the garden, in the greenhouse, growing things. And actually, when I had my first home in my 20s, I had a beautiful greenhouse and garden, and I learned how to grow everything from seed. And that the 4 years I lived there, I had the most incredible garden, hanging baskets. I grew lettuces, tomatoes, cucumbers, a little veg patch. I was like green fingers, you know, I'm a Virgo, I'm an earth sign. But it was so therapeutic. And I haven't grown anything since in the last nearly 30 years. I buy my plants ready to plant into my garden, and I buy my tomatoes in the supermarket. And so I thought, I'm home for 3 months. I've got a garden. I don't have a greenhouse. How much will it cost me to get one of those little plastic things that go against the wall? So I had to look on eBay and Amazon, and I found one for £15. And it's one of those Apex things with 4 shelves and a plastic cover, goes against a nice sunny wall. And I bought a load of seeds, and it all arrived today. And over the weekend, I'm going to put that together. And I bought some herb seeds and flowers and hanging basket flowers and everything to grow myself. And over the next 3 months, I shall tender them and, you know, and eat some of them. And yeah, it gives me something to do that's also very nature, nurture, and cost effective as well. All right. So it's thinking for yourself. Oh, hi, Anna, Ravenwolf channel. It's thinking for yourself, what can you do with this time in your climate where you are? All right. Today is solstice, spring solstice in the northern hemisphere, and your autumn equinox there. So it's the solstice, that's the summer solstice. It's the equinox, it's the spring equinox today. So hi, Heidi Louise, hi. Great to see you too, darling. Chris, no, I'm single. Thank you. What else have we got? Chris, got to go. Okay, babe, bye-bye. So thinking about ideas that you can do to keep yourself sane, keep yourself mentally healthy. You know, if you're in an apartment and you haven't, you could do some window boxes. If you can't, you know, if you're not allowed out of your apartment, exercise inside. Just think about what you can do to. Hi, Anne-Marie, ever first time on live chat. Lovely to see you. Think about what you can do to keep yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically in a good place. Okay. All right. Let's have a look at some more questions. Love that gardening. We do community gardening in Canada. See, this is what we want to, it's all about the community, getting back to community, isn't it? So it's one of the things I said in my COVID-19 video, that, you know, those of you who've got a garden, if you've got lots of apartments around you with people who haven't got a garden, perhaps you could put a note through their door to say, you're welcome to use my garden, you know, one at a time, you know, and come and sit in the sunshine. But not in groups, obviously. But so it's helping each other. Okay, share your garden with your neighbors. All right. Heidi saying, learn on YouTube to crochet or knit. Yeah, but don't forget about homeless people out there. Cheer them up with little gifts. Fabulous idea. You know, so I bought the stuff I needed for what I'm planning for the next few months. I bought it all online. I got eBay to deliver what I needed. I bought some books on Kindle and got them downloaded. So, you know, those delivery people are amazing. Hi, Jagrati. I'm very well, thank you. Hi, Barbie in Canada. Hi there in Oz. Lovely. Okay, garden window boxes, absolutely. Um, give animals lots of attention and petting. Yeah. Um, and Nancy's saying, oh, bless you. I'm not a goddess, sweetheart, but thank you. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I love what I do. That's another thing they want me to talk about. Okay, loving what we do. This is part of the reset and pause as well, loving what we do. There is an enormous amount of people who are not living their dream life by any means. Okay, there is majority, they get up, they commute to work, they do a job they don't even enjoy, they commute home, they just crash and grab a little bit of time with their family, and then they get up and do it all over again. And then something like this happens and the job goes, and it enables you, once you get over the shock and the panic, to reset and reboot. Yesterday I did a reading for somebody who was a partner, works in London, an hour and a half commute to do a job he doesn't like, an hour and a half back. And he's on contract, so he's probably going to lose his job. He's just training to do something else. He's nearly finished to do something else, which he could do online. And I said to them, see, the thing is, right, this is a wonderful example, and many of you will be in the same boat, where you've got debts and a huge mortgage, and basically you're doing that job you don't particularly like in order to service the debts and that you don't particularly like, and everything is about trying to maintain what you don't particularly like. And your soul doesn't want you to live like that anymore. And it says enough's enough. And I was suggesting for these people, and many of you will be in the same boat, what you see as being your tower moment, might lose your job, lots of debts. Okay, 3 months mortgage holiday, we know that. But in the longer term, this gives you time to rethink and say, this is an opportunity to change my life. Maybe we can sell the house and go and live in a cheaper area, and everywhere's cheaper than London. It's the most expensive part of the UK, and move out and work online and pay off the debts and live a much easier, less stressful, simple life. So this is going to happen for many people. And this is an opportunity to shift. And I know it's easy for me to say that because that's actually what I did many years ago. I was a senior manager, director at the time, and I quit without a job to go to, with she was just 3, my daughter was 3-year-old, and a mortgage and a car loan and credit cards and all of those trappings. We live to our means. However much you earn, you go up to meet that. And I just said, I'm not doing this anymore. It's not right. And I quit. I sold my house, my car. I paid off my credit cards. I had about 2 grand left. And I moved to Cornwall, rented a house, and went, right, what next? And I tuned in and I said, what do you want me to do? I need to work. I need to do something, but I want my life to be balanced, and I want to have time with my daughter. I want quality. I didn't just move here to change the view out the window. I moved here to change the whole way I live. And that's when I retrained and became a hypnotherapist. And gradually, over those years, built my business up. And here I am now. I never did get back on the property ladder. I still rent, and probably too old to get a mortgage again now. Never say never. But it's also saying, is it important? I've lived the last 20 years in doing a job I love, in a place I love, with time for my family, in balance, and it works. And I am one of the rare people who can say, hand on heart, I truly love my job and I love my life. So many of you don't. And so when you are panicking about losing everything, I want you to really step back and say, what is it exactly that I'm losing? Because I'm not losing everything. All right, I've got my health, I've got my heart, I've got my love, I've got my family, I've got, you know, my furniture, I've got my car. I'm not losing everything. I might be changing some of those things. I'm not losing everything, right? Our mind and it's not your fault. It's the way the mind works. It will run into panic and catastrophe. So it's not just an inconvenience, it's a disaster. It's the end of the world. That's the way the brain works. It's not your fault. But I want you to bring it back and pull that catastrophe back and go, okay, it's an opportunity to change things, and things are going to come better, and I'm going to be okay. And all my needs are always met, right? Not my wants, but my needs are met. Okay. Let me see some of your questions. Yeah, that's when you met me. Yeah, I'd been here about 5 years when I met you, Heidi. Yeah. Yeah, right. People do need to simplify their lives. It's simplifying it, and then it may get complicated again, and that's okay. But is it complicated in a way that actually you want and that supports you, or is it complicated in a way that doesn't support you? Yeah, I'm getting hot. Hold on. Children have been jogging and painting. We haven't done that in a very long time. See, that's lovely. Okay. Um, no, I'm not old. I didn't say I was old. Creator, I'm not old. I'm 56. But in our country, in the UK, you can get a mortgage till you're 67. So I've got just 10 and a half years left to get a mortgage. And that makes the payments very, very high. And I don't want to put myself in that pressure. So, nope. Tracy, hi Tracy. I've always believed that something positive and good comes from negative and bad. I agree. We don't see it at the moment, but when I look back, all the things I thought were horrible actually was for the best. That is so, so true, my darling. That is so, so true. That's exactly what happens every time there's been any tower moments in people's lives. It might take 6 months, it might take 2 years, it might take 5 years. You look back and say, I can see now that that was the best thing that happened to me. And this has happened to me. I've had a lot of very big tower moments in my life. And every single one of them was the right thing. Okay. And it's interesting because, is that correct? So I'm just asking my angels. Yes, she's saying more or less. More or less. Okay. So I was going to say there, and she's saying more or less, is that mostly we don't need to have the tower moments. We can do change gently, gradually, and easily. The problem is we don't. We get stuck in our little rut, and we acknowledge that we're not particularly happy, but we're not miserable enough to do anything about it. And so we don't do anything about it until our misery rises, and then we get the tower moment. And so, the angels say, if you look back at your tower moment, you'll realize there was a sell-by date at least 6 months before, and sometimes 6 years before. There was a point where you knew this had to change. All right. And if you look at an example of losing a job, it's not this circumstance, but a normal circumstance. Yeah, a new boss comes in. You haven't liked your job for quite a while. A new boss comes in and takes against you, makes your life a misery, and either you walk or they sack you. And if you look back, you realize that you hadn't connected from the heart with your job for some months before that boss came in and made that happen. So the universe kind of says you can do it the easy way or you can do it the hard way. We'd rather you do it the easy way, but as people, you don't. And that's why we're in this tower times a million, okay? Because we've been saying for 30 years, we need to do something about the economy. It's not fair. We need to do something about society. It's not caring anymore. We need to do something about the environment. It's not working. And nothing's changed. So now we're having this huge tower moment, and it does need to happen. Okay, let me see what some of your comments and questions. Oh, Ali, that's really kind to you. Cooking for your daughters and their families, taking stress off them, and you enjoy the cooking. So that's a lovely way to keep yourself busy, help others, and do something you enjoy. Jessica is saying, just left a corporate job after 5 years, no new jobs, not sure what I want to do. I feel like I'm called to something, just can't figure out how or what exactly. That, Jessica, is perfect and brilliant and exactly where you need to be. When we come out of the rat race, as I call it, as I did, and I moved to Cornwall, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. And it took me at least 6 months. It might have been 18 months. I can't recall, but it wasn't quick before I found the hypnotherapy thing. Initially, I stayed in the same industry, but went in as an officer. I've been a director, and I went right down to a lower level and said, I just want a part-time job and that'll do. And I want something that is not too stressful. But it gave me a bit of time. It was a 1-year contract, and it gave me a bit of time to think and take a breath and reboot. And then, it was about 18 months. Then I really sat down thinking, what is my future? What do I want? What am I good at? What skills can I bring with me? What's transferable? And then really thinking things through, and then finally finding the hypnotherapy qualification. I looked at counselling, I looked at psychology, I looked at several different things, including actually going into the church and becoming a vicar. And I was really looking at, because I'm good with helping people come along, and I have a wonderful relationship with God and Jesus, but I thought they probably won't like a lot of my other beliefs, and I probably find the church all the time, so it's probably not wise for me to go into that. But you feel it, and you will find your answer. You will find your way. This is the time for entrepreneurs and the people that have wanted to set up their own business for years to really start doing it. And I don't mean right now, but I mean out of this result, the outcome of all of this will be people really finding a different way of being. All right, let's have a look at some more of your comments. I'm being careful, Brian, getting food to some truck drivers. Oh, well done, Ray. It's hard for them to get food right now. Yeah, I mean, the truck drivers, they're doing ridiculous hours, really double shifts. And then when they finish their shift, the supermarkets are empty and they can't get any food. We're seeing that a lot with the key workers as well. Hi, Susan in Ireland. I feel this will have to last 2 or 3 months. If it was over in a few weeks, we go back to the old ways. I completely agree. When somebody said to me, how long is this going to go on? My angel said, as long as it needs to, before the lessons have been learned and enough change has been embedded to be lasting. And that will be at least 3 to 4 months, I believe. Okay. And I think that my information is that I feel the virus will be basically over in 3 or 4 months with some tailback for the rest of the year. But the economic and environmental impact is going to go on for about another 18 months. So I kind of feel a 2-year kind of thing. So that change needs to be big and bold. And if we were to come out of this too quickly, as that lady there said, Susan, that, we just pick up where we left off and carry on exactly where we were. We need to be able to have time to realize that what we saw was important wasn't really important. And what we thought was priority isn't priority. We need time to shift our perspective. It's the hanging man. We need time, because when we look at things from a different perspective, we don't necessarily absorb it and align with it. We look at it and go, yeah, that's a good idea, and then carry on doing exactly what we were doing. For us to fully align with these changes takes a little bit of time. So it's going to take as long as it needs. And that will be shorter and longer in different countries because of different societies. So hold on, I'm just going to get some water and I'm going to read some more comments. Helen, absolutely, same as me. Helen Reynolds says, also got off the hamster wheel. Best thing I ever did. Still looking, but much happier with less money. That's exactly what I did when I left the corporate world in 2000. And I sold everything, and I lived on about a quarter of the wages I had been on, but without the flash car and the credit cards and the holidays and the big house. I actually lived a really basic, simple existence, and there was enough. I wasn't without, but couldn't afford holidays abroad. I thought, I've got a beautiful Cornish beach, half a mile down the road. What do I need to go abroad for? I had everything I needed. My needs were met. But I had to align with that to say holidays abroad and, you know, fancy things that I used to think was important. They're not important. You know, I don't need the Jaguar. I can manage with a £500 car. I don't go that far that often anyway. I just downsized everything. Okay. And I lived a much more simple life. And I tell you what, I used to get anxiety and depression and panic attacks and sleepless nights, and that all stopped. You know, we often blame, you know, I have this stress issue, or I have that, and it's actually the life we're living that's causing it. And this is called medicalization, where we put a label on things and say, have a pill and it'll make it go away. And it's wrong, you know. Somebody's depressed because they've lost their job. They're allowed to be, you know, and we've medicalized depression. Actually, depression is completely different from if I feel sad because I've lost my job, or if I'm grieving because I've lost a loved one. These are normal emotions. We shouldn't be medicalizing them. But many of the stresses that people are under, and over drinking and overeating and, you know, not living very healthily and well, are ways of coping with a life that doesn't really work for them. So this is a way, again, of resetting, rebooting. Press the pause button. You're back again, are you, Sally? Hello. All right, Olga, I've been cleaning my old child room from a lot of old things from the past in my parents' house the last month, and now with the self-quarantine, I think it's time to do the same with my own flat. Yeah, there you go. You know, many people lose their jobs and they think they're going to be bored out of their brains in a week. And 3 months later, they're saying, I don't know, I ever had time to work. You know, by the time I caught up with all the housework and cleaned the windows and sorted the garden and spent more time with the kids, and I helped them with the homework more, and I started knitting this thing and I'm doing that, and I go to choir, and people are getting a balance back because of what they saw as a disaster. Something is having a wonderful effect on multiple areas of their life. All right. Hi, Kirsty. The corporate environment doesn't fit with you, and I've had lots of tower moments alerting me to this. I'm a qualified spiritual life coach, and the current time should enable me to focus on change. Yeah. Society is your worst enemy or your best friend. You see, if your society, if your community is what I mean by your society, if your community was caring and sharing and supportive, they'd be your best friend, not your enemy. So this is what we're trying to get back to, is that sense of community and tribe. These all happen to awaken our souls, that we can be aligned with our soul purpose. Thank you for your divine support. You're very welcome. And my angels telling me what to say generally. Hi, hugs from Vermont. Thank you for the hugs. I'll take that hug and give it you back. Thank you. People online talking about they're bored with kids. Yeah, we've forgotten how to be with our children. The schools teach our children. I don't. You know, everything is about everybody else's responsibility. That's another, I sound like I'm having a go, don't I? I don't mean that. But it's another part of society that's broken down. We don't take responsibility for ourselves anymore. We tend to blame everything else, including society, including the government, but we voted them in and we keep them in. We need to start taking responsibility. They're our children. We should know how to play with them. We should be able to basically school them. The school will have given you information anyway, and you can Google it and find out what to do online anyway. There's lots of support about it. So we are all connected, and we want to reconnect and interconnect. We've become too isolated and I wouldn't say independent. I don't think we are independent. I think we've become dependent on the wrong things. We give our independence to our job. We give our independence to our financial security. We give our independence to these things, and you strip them back and you think, I've lost my independence. And it's like, no, that shows you were dependent on them. The dependency is within you, and the responsibility is within you. It's time to reconnect with our children. It's time to reconnect with the children of, you know, so many families, the mother and father are tired of being at work all day, the kids have been at school all day, and everybody just sits in front of their tablet, their laptop, their computer, and their phone. Nobody's connecting, nobody's talking. It would be really good, actually, and this is possible, and look out for this. It may happen in the next few weeks where there's a total shutdown of everything. Okay, well, you really have got to talk to each other because there's no tablet and there's no telly and there's no social media. That absolutely could happen as well, because it's not just the government ramping it up. I think the universe is going to be ramping it up as well. So just keep open to what might happen in April. And if everything does go down like that, just know that this is the universe saying, we want you off your tablet. We want you off your phone. We want you talking to each other, talking to yourself, talking to Mother Earth. Yeah, go for a walk, things like that. Hi, Patricia. Hi, for California. You volunteer for several non-profits. It's been an amazing journey for you helping people. Never thought this was possible. Wonderful. Sylvia is studying to be a hypnotherapist, but classes have been cancelled for 2 months. How can you practice in isolation? Absolutely, you can practice in isolation. I'm a hypnotherapist. It's my main job. This is my second job. As a hypnotherapist, I do every single session online, like this. Okay, only one-on-one. All right, you can absolutely practice online. So straight away, take that belief out. You have to have somebody in your room. And, during a course, you need to record yourself for hypnotherapy. And, your voice, your tone, your speed, all the rest of it. Then you can use Zoom to record your sessions and send them in. There is no reason a hypnotherapy course cannot be done online. So the practical as well can be done online via Skype, Zoom, any of these. Okay, so you can absolutely continue your course, and the course should be offering you to be doing those classes online. All right, I've been qualified for 20 years now. I'm a senior practitioner with hypnotherapy. Yeah, social media has taken over. In a crisis, it's very useful because it informs us, but it's also very negative because it just keeps us in the fear, and a lot of misinformation as well. Fake news. Connie, hi Connie, I left a well-paid job with no job to go to, but I've been working with the universe and so happy. Look at those rainbows, lovely. The universe gives you what you need. Absolutely, always does, always does. Okay. Okay, I feel as well, I'm not sure about this one yet. Yeah, I'm feeling the 5G thing will collapse as well. I think that'll go. I think it needs to go. It's not very good for us. Okay. When I was younger, I taught my youngest, this is Heidi, I taught my youngest son at home. When he was bullied at school, I got a lot of different coloured folders with each subject. I got a lot from books and internet, and my son got a certificate. Well done. Okay, well done. Oh, hi, Lynette in Cape Town. Lovely that we've got Africa here. How are you doing down there, my lovelies? Are you all well? You're catching up with the rest of us, but you are coping, yeah? You're very welcome. How do you pronounce that? Amatibizi? You're very welcome. Oh, Angela. Hi, sweetheart. Angela's a friend I made when I was in Spain for my little stint. You only found me last week. How is that? You've been binge watching me since. Thank you. All right. How much my sessions? All the information's on my website, darling. All the prices, all the information. It depends what session you want. They start from £55 and go up to 150. All right. And you book it online. The calendar's online. You pick your session. You pick your date and your time, and you pay for it. You get a confirmation in writing with a receipt, and then you get a reminder the day before about your session. Okay. You're well down there in Africa. Fabulous. South Africa, I mean, sorry. You heard that a lot of the elite and dark forces are being taken down behind the scenes at this time and being hidden. Is this correct? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Natalie, hi, sweetie. I'm really worried about your business. It's a jewelry business. I just achieved cash neutrality. Oh, bless you. But I'm trusting it's part of my path. Hello from Sydney. Natalie, I'm not doing individual tune into you and your business. So I'm not going to do psychic stuff, but I'm just talking. And what I would suggest, like I've been saying for so many, start thinking outside the box. You make jewelry. You still make jewelry. You can put it on the internet. You can sell it on the internet. Okay, so don't give up on it just because the business, yeah, you've got a shop or whatever, you know, even if it's already on the internet, is, you know, people not buying because they've just lost their jobs and stuff like this. Don't panic. Trust the universe will provide. In the first 3 days of this week, I lost about 30% of my clients. And I was like, whoa, okay, they'll come back. It's because they've got children at home because the schools have been closed and, you know, they've been sent home and, it's, you know, it'll be fine. They'll be back. But in the meantime, I suddenly got a lot more bookings in, and I'm using the extra time to do extra work on YouTube. I'm still trying to get the Aprils out. So April monthlies out. I've done 4. I know it's not many. I'm going to do another 3 or 4 tomorrow, and then the rest will be next week. But don't worry, it'll be okay. Hi, Deb G in Canada. So yeah, Natalie, your jewelry business, all right, you can do this, you know, take photographs of them, of the pieces, put them online with the prices, link them into Stripe so that people can pay, work out deliveries through the post. People need to be a little bit more creative, all right, rather than go, this is the way I've always done it and therefore it's closed, so it's gone. It's thinking, it won't work for all businesses, but it's thinking outside. How else can I do that? Okay. Yeah, lovely. Okay. What else have we got? How do I think people's finances will fare in and after the pandemic? Karen, there is a releveling of the economic structure of every country going on at the moment, and it needs to happen, my darling. It's the right thing. So finances are changing and shifting, and tax systems are changing and shifting, the way we pay tax, who we pay it to. There's going to be such a big shift in consciousness and in financial freedom. Financial equality is coming out of this. Okay. Iana, I just recorded sleep affirmations to listen to while I sleep to release fear and anxiety and speak protection and love for myself and my family. I find this has been extremely powerful. Wonderful idea. There's also lots of that online for those of you who can't record it for yourself. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube. You know, YouTube is your friend at the moment. Okay. It's not just, you know, don't watch endless hours of television. You know, educate yourself on YouTube. There's loads of beautiful meditations. There's, you know, sleep ones, anti-anxiety ones, coming into alignment ones, and all sorts. Marianne wants to know any advice on grounding yourself. Fastest way to ground yourself, my darling, is if you can get outside onto real ground. So not concrete, not pavement. Get onto grass or mud. And if you can, and it's not too freezing and wet, get your shoes off and get your toes on the ground. And as you feel it, you are a magnetic resonant being. All right. We've got an electromagnetic field around us, and so is Mother Earth. As we connect with her, we feel that oneness and we are grounded. All right. Secondly, you focus on your root chakra, your base chakra, and you visualize the roots coming down from your base chakra, right down through your feet, through the soles of your feet into the earth. Imagine your roots like the roots of an oak tree, anchoring. I'm anchored, I'm grounded, I'm safe, I'm secure. The other thing you can do is imagine your tailbone that we used to have, all right, and visualize it coming down just like a monkey from the base of your spine, but coming right down to the floor, the ground, and touching the ground. And imagine your tail as a rudder, which keeps you balanced. So am I over here? Am I over here? Am I this way? Am I that way? I want to get balanced, in line. Now I go forward in a straight line and I'm not wibbling wobbling. Okay, there's lots of stuff like this on my website, free, not free downloads, but some of them are only like £1 or £2, about grounding, protecting, connecting, all of that. You also find lots of free stuff on YouTube about it. Okay. Natalie saying that's right. Meditation and remembering to breathe is it's easy to forget when you're anxious. Yeah. Okay. Just being able to breathe and stop. Let's do it now together. Just pause. Take a deep breath and let go and let it all out, every little bit. And now just feel your body and your shoulders down and breathe slowly and evenly. I am one with myself. I am one with the universe. I am at peace. I am aligned. I am love. Love is me. We are one. I am love. Love is me. We are one. How long was that? 30 seconds? Who's feeling loved and peaceful? You're welcome. See, we don't have to make it really deep and complicated and, you know, put all sorts of barriers about we got to do this, 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 and this. All we need to do is focus on the breath, bring it into the now, and then give yourself a topic. I use love there. I am love. But you could say I am safe. I am aligned. I'm grounded, whatever. I'm peaceful. I'm protected. I'm looked after, whatever you want to do. Use whatever words. We don't need to do a big thing. That is a meditation, just like that. Sitting there, just breathe, come into the now, feel your body relax, and feel yourself at peace. All right. And can you see the difference in my energy? It was lovely anyway. My energy was great just because I've been connecting with you and I've got my angels here. But I can feel my own vibration, and you can probably see it, that my vibration has changed just by doing that little exercise there. Less than 30 seconds. All right. So you can all do that. It's easy to do that. You've got it. Okay. All right. I think yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up there now because I've been talking for an hour. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I really appreciate you joining me. I really appreciate your energy and your love and your support for each other. And it's my absolute pleasure to connect with you. I'm going to do some more videos for April tomorrow, but tomorrow evening around the same time, if I've got any energy, I'll come back on and do another live. So if you'd like to join me again, do keep an eye out. I'm not going to say I'm definitely going to do it because if I'm tired, I won't. But if I feel okay, I'll come on again tomorrow night. And if you can join me, please do. All right. And thank you for those of you who donated for my time. I really appreciate it. That's very kind of you. And lots of love, and I'll see you soon. All right, my darlings. My heart to yours as always. Take care. Bye-bye.